In order to end the problem so that it doesn't come back, we need two things. First, return to Gaza now. Return to our holy land. Encourage residents to leave. It's the truth.
A pair of Israeli government ministers called for annexation of Gaza and the dispersion of Palestinians who live there. Here you see families of hostages held by Hamas attacking Itamar Ben-Gvir, the minister of Israel's national security. Some of those families believe Ben-Gvir has hurt the chances of captives getting out alive. They point to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's military tactics and question his strategy.
That's why we're committed to defend ourselves, because if we don't, then there are other forces around us. Hezbollah, that's in an Iranian proxy in Lebanon, not very far from here. The Houthis in Yemen. Militias, extreme Shiite radicals in Iraq and in Syria.
The Washington Examiner spoke with Jonathan Deckelchin, a Hebrew University historian whose son, Sagi, was taken hostage on October 7th.
There's this complete fallacy of what total victory has to be in this case for Israel. And that is, Hamas completely ceasing to exist.
He believes Israel taking over the Gaza Strip is not realistic.
Neither of those are going to happen in the real world. And striving for that will only get the hostages killed, and a lot of Palestinians as well, of course, because you cannot avoid, in such a densely populated area, more civilian casualties.
The policies in which those in Netanyahu's cabinet are calling for reportedly violate international law, according to United Nations officials.
We treat Israel, one of our closest allies and partners, just as we would treat any other country, including in assessing something like international humanitarian law and its compliance with that law.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken notes while the U.S. continues to investigate instances of civilians caught in the crosshairs, Israel does as well.
The report also makes clear that this is an incredibly complex military environment. You have an enemy that intentionally embeds itself with civilians.
The United States, Egypt, and Qatar have been coordinating indirect negotiations over a ceasefire and hostage deal, but nothing both sides have been able to agree upon. As the Biden administration has paused a shipment of offensive military aid to Israel, Netanyahu explains the unique challenges Israel faces against Hamas.
Contrary to everything you read in the mainstream media, the ratio of civilians killed to terrorists killed in that Gaza war is perhaps the smallest it's been in any urban battle.
That you can expect under these circumstances, given the nature of what took place on October 7th, the kinds of civilian casualties we've seen, there is substantial tension that I think both sides are committed to working through.